Give a man a fish and he'll eat for a day, but teach a man to fish and he'll eat for a lifetime. This saying has been used throughout many areas throughout the years, but today I'll literally be teaching you how to fish so you can not only eat for a lifetime, but enjoy the sport itself as well. Today we'll be going over some of the materials you'll need while there are a lot, casting into how to fish and catch your first fish, and finally reeling in the grand prize of all the benefits that fishing provides. So starting off, we're going to go over just a few of the accessories you'll need. There's a lot that you can have, but these are just the basic ones that you'll absolutely need. So the first and most obvious one is going to be your rod and reel. You can go to Bass Pro or any kind of outdoor store and get a combo for like $60, $70. And fishing can be expensive if you buy all the things that you want to buy. But if you just stick to the things that you need, then you should be okay. And then next you'll need some line. Some of the combos come with line already on them, but the line isn't very good. So you might want to buy your own, and then they can put it on your reel for free at Bass Pro. And the workers there are super chill, and all the other fishermen are super chill too. So if you ever need any help, they're a great place to go. So now that we have our line, the next thing you'll need will be some kind of hook. So that's what you'll put your kind of bait on. And then the next thing would be the bait. So there's a few different kinds of baits. There's live baits like worms, minnows, even frogs. And then there's plastic baits like this one right here. It's got hooks in it, so you don't need the other hooks. And then there are also soft plastic baits like this worm I got right here. So I'm going to use that to represent a worm. And these soft plastics do stink, so that helps you catch fish. And then while these may be some of the things you absolutely need, some other things that are helpful are some pliers in case a fish swallows a hook and you have to pull it out. And a chair is super nice in case you have to sit down after fishing for a while. Cooler to keep your drinks cold. Having a nice cold water is always a good thing after you're sitting in the heat. And sunglasses are also super great because the sunlight reflects off the water a lot. So now that we've gone over some of the things you'll need, I'll be showing you how to actually make your first cast to hopefully catch your first fish. So I'm going to be putting what's called a swivel on my line first, which basically just makes it so I don't have to cut off my hooks or baits and retie every single time I want to use a new one. So fishing knots can be super complicated if you want to learn a super complicated one, or they can be pretty simple. And the one I do is I just wrap it around a few times and go back through the hole. But I could honestly do a whole nother speech about tying a knot, so I'm not going to go super in depth with it. And then once you have that knot, go ahead and pull it tight because you're going to have to reel in a fish with it. And you might get snagged on a log or two as well, so you'll have to be able to pull it pretty hard. And then now that we have this swivel on, you could either go with a hook or a bait that already has hooks in it like this one. But I'm just going to put a hook on if I can. Okay. And fishing is a super tedious sport sometimes and frustrating, but in the end, when you catch a fish and reel it in, pull it out of the water, it all makes it worth it. So then once we have our hook on, we're going to put our bait. So like I said before, you could use live baits, plastic baits, whatever pretty much, but this is just a soft plastic worm. And a general rule is you want to have as much bait on the hook as possible so a fish can't just come up and steal it off the hook, or it doesn't just fall off when you're casting. And then also you want the hook to come out around the middle of the bait just so a fish can't come up and bite the end of the bait without biting the hook. So once you have your hook and bait tied on, that's when you can actually cast. I'm not going to actually cast in here because I'm not trying to catch one of the audience members, but once you cast, you just want to reel in at a steady pace. You don't have to reel it in super fast, and you should be able to feel if fish are biting. It'll give a little kick in the line. So once you catch your fish, pull it out of the water. Make sure you take some pictures with it. Hold it as close to the camera as possible so it looks bigger. and then just go ahead and set it back in the water and let it go. So now that you know how to catch your first fish, we're going to talk about all the benefits that come with fishing. So fishing is one of my favorite hobbies that I like to do any day after school when it's warm enough, or just on the weekend. It's super relaxing and peaceful, and you can just sit by the water and chill. Even if you're not catching fish, it's just a good way to relax and kind of decompress after a long week of work and school or whatever. So being outdoors also has a lot of benefits. Like the sun has many benefits from its vitamin D. You can get a nice tan on, and it's just really good for your mental health to be outside as much as possible. So on today's fishing trip, we went over some of the materials you'll need, the process of catching your first fish, and we finally reeled in the benefits of fishing. So now that you know how to fish, hopefully you'll be able to eat for a lifetime and enjoy the sport too. Thank you.